Abiodun Victoria.
Good afternoon, everybody. Okay, so I'm really excited to be here, and today I'll be talking to you about a topic I'm genuinely very passionate about. And I think for me, it inspires most of the work I get to do in bringing people on chain. The world is a global village, all thanks to the internet. And it's a very common thing. For example, if I tell someone sitting next to you that, you know what, help me transfer money to this person, chances are you're just going to ask the person, what bank do you use? You're not thinking, how do I do that? Because it's not so complex. The information is all out there. But if I now tell you that, okay, I have this friend in, let's say, Ghana, let me not even say Kenya or anywhere outside of Africa. If I tell you, oh, I have this friend in another country, I want you to send money to this person. Immediately, you start thinking, how do I get the money to this person? The theme for today says Nexus. Nexus basically means a connection or a series of connections linking two or more things together. And this is the central idea, that forms the foundation for my topic, which is global connectivity through on-chain interactions. If you've ever heard of the word on-chain, let me know, assume everyone knows what that is. If you've ever heard of the word on-chain, just wave at me. Oh my God. So I'm so used to this, when we go out, a lot of times most people don't even know what on-chain means. And even those that know what blockchain means are like, maybe crypto. And for me, it constantly shows we have more work to do. So if you don't know what on-chain means, on-chain is simply, used to describe activities that happens directly on the blockchain. Meaning the activities are recorded and verified on the blockchain, because we have what we call on-chain and we have what we call off-chain. But right now we're talking about on-chain. So this is what on-chain means. Activities, that describe, what's it called? On-chain describes every activity that happens directly on the blockchain. It is recorded and verified on it. So if you've never heard of the word blockchain, blockchain is simply a decentralized distributed ledger that records transactions, in a secure and transparent manner. There are many unique features, attached to blockchain technology in itself. But one of the things I would want you to keep in mind for the purpose of this conversation is the fact that data on the blockchain is immutable. And when I say immutable, it means once it is accepted, it cannot be changed. I mean, you can't say, oh, I forgot something, I want to edit it. No, you only have to update the information. And another thing you have to understand, with updating information is that new information can only be added based on consensus. And consensus means agreement between a network of nodes. And basically, this is what on-chain stands for. So you may think, so what exactly do I mean when I say, I think I keep cracking. So what exactly do I mean when I say global connectivity through on-chain reaction? I've mentioned before that this is the system where blockchain itself is based, on interconnectivity, rid of centralization. It works with a central, network of nodes. I can't just decide and say, oh, I want to change what I wrote before. There has to be an agreement. That means one person is not making all the decisions for all of us. We are all coming together. It involves you, it involves me. There is a connection in that. And that means a system where, based on interconnectivity, rid of centralization, and based on transparency. And this is exactly what on-chain stands for. And like I said before, you may ask, like, oh, what do I mean when I say, global connectivity through on-chain interaction? I know I said it before that, the moment people hear blockchain, everybody's thinking crypto. That's even if you know what blockchain is. But blockchain is so much more than cryptocurrency. But cryptocurrency is the first use case of blockchain technology itself. But for the purpose of this conversation and for almost any form of conversation that has to involve blockchain, we can never deny the impact, of on-chain finance on global connectivity. That will be the first point, I'll be talking about when we talk about connectivity, the impact of on-chain finance. In 2012, my elder sister went to school abroad. And at the time, if you live in Nigeria, which I would assume majority of us here do, you would know that our FX situation is a case to not even really dive into. But, when my son went to school, the dollar rate just kept skyrocketing. So my parents ended up getting more than they bargained for. But that's not even the worst case. The worst case is the fact that there's still endless charges on the hand here, on the hand there. So, it's a whole lot of things when we talk about, financial frustrations that comes with having to trade globally. And, being someone that experienced this firsthand, it's not a case of they said, someone said, people said. It's something I witnessed. I saw my parents, have to live through it. So, having to live through this firsthand, I constantly have to, it was one of the things that really personally also brought me into the blockchain space as a whole. So I used to ask myself questions like, what makes the difference? Why blockchain? Why crypto? And one thing you have to understand with on-chain finance is on-chain financial transaction, in so many ways, have really proven to bridge the gap and bring together a more, connected world in terms of financial accessibility. And when you talk of on-chain financial transaction, we're talking of faster transaction, we're talking of speed, reliability, inclusivity, and cost effectiveness. I think one of the most relatable example for a lot of audience here, when COVID-19 came, I think more than, before is like big people that do international businesses, so it doesn't really relate to us. But when COVID-19 came, we saw a change in what used to be the traditional work system. And now you can live in Nigeria, like Abiodun spoke about, live almost anywhere in the world. Like you can, be in Oyo State and you can be working for someone in maybe Canada or someone in Singapore or anywhere. And more than also ever before, the younger generation and even the older ones needed to find ways to get money. Because it's either, you are settling for a fintech solution where tomorrow they can lock you out of your app and you for no explanation. Or, you have to settle for very ridiculous charges. And this is the reality most of the time. But, with on-chain finance, I'm talking all you need is a wallet and a wallet and an address. I don't need to ask you, do you use this particular wallet? No. As long as the transaction is on chain, it's accessible to all. I'm not saying, you have to bring two guarantor. No, you can't just have a dollar account. You need to, no, all those does not have to happen. And that is one of the ways, on-chain interaction is bridging global connectivity. And this is, in so many ways, a game changer for businesses and even for global financial accessibility. And outside of that, I love to also talk about, like I mentioned before, in so many ways, when you think of crypto, immediately we talk about, when you think of blockchain, immediately we talk about crypto. But it is so much more than that. This kind of innovation, that means, on-chain interaction, exemplifies the nexus, which is basically a critical connection, a very crucial one. And that is the same type the blockchain models. It connects those who were previously disconnected from the global financial system. And it does so by, leveraging the inherent features of blockchain technology, which are basically decentralization, transparency, and security. And the impact of this at the end of the day is people now, like people like you and me, being able to instantly get paid without exorbitant fees, no long waiting hours, no looking for a relative that has dollar bank, and so many of those things. So, and when I started out, I said, when you think of blockchain, majority immediately think of crypto. And now I'm talking about on-chain interaction. I'm still talking about crypto. So beyond crypto, what exactly does on-chain interaction do in what's it called? In promoting global connectivity. So, like I said, it's far from limited to crypto. And there are so many ways. Okay, for example, I think one of the things that you'll notice now more than ever, everybody is becoming so conscious of how you source their products. So now what you have is you have a system where companies can, share and like what's the word to use? Trace the origin of how their product are sourced, and also consumers have access to see that their product are ethically sourced. And this is very, like I said, becoming very important to the average consumer. Let's go to the next one. So, on-chain interactions are far, 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 far away from just financial transaction. It is more on building a system where, we have a transparent, accountable, and connected world. So whether it's like you're trying, supply chain for your smartphone, or maybe there's ensuring fair trade, making sure no child is like being ripped off to get your assets down to you, or simply even sending money to your parent, or getting paid from an employer, or just simplifying, the basic processes that has to do with your finances. Blockchain technology genuinely provides you a foundation, for trust and cooperation across global lines. If I want to start, touching each industry where on-chain interactions can drive global connectivity, we probably won't leave here today. And we have so many things to talk about, so I'm not going to do that. So, to conclude my talk in general, let me get to the next slide here. So the idea of the nexus in this context, in the context of this TED Talk, is perfectly embodied by blockchain technology. Personally, and the way I see it, I always say that blockchain technology built a bridge that really connects these, disparate points. It creates a network that is not only as powerful in its reach, but also in its ability to create, a more transparent and equitable global society. So when I think about this a lot of time, it takes me back to the question. Beyond what the internet, beyond the bridges it creates for us, beyond how we can connect as individuals, financially, or in different ways, the next step beyond internet, which is, I believe, the first stage of global connectivity, does on-chain interaction really give us access to the next level? That means beyond what your internet will provide you, what is the next step? Where do we go? And I believe that these are the kind of questions that beyond what we have currently, which is the future we are aspiring to, a system where we know at the forefront of it all is a system that is driven on transparency, is a system that is inclusive. And the baseline of connection is providing a structure where everyone feels a part of it. And that is something on-chain interaction really empowers individuals and, provides access to. So I will read the question I started with, and you may have the answer or not, and that's fine. But I want you to, do your research and also think about it. What's the next step? Like I said when I started, this has always led me, to constantly question, does the internet truly connect us as seamlessly as we think? Think about it. Does the internet truly, in all of its, glory, it's a step, it's a process, but like we are not there. There was this video, like I like to refer to the video a lot. I don't know why I didn't send it to them. There was this video from Bill Gates. It was, I think, around 1995. And it was on a live show, really trying to explain what the internet is. Nobody's even trying to make you laugh here. Like, it was so funny. It would say something and they would say, oh, do you mean the radio? It would say something like, oh, do you mean the TV? And everybody had a good laugh. All he was trying to explain was the internet. Because at the time, it made no sense. Like, there's radio, there's teleprompter, there's all those things. Like, and just like some 30 years down the line, most of us, inclusive like me, I don't even know what it looks like without internet. Because I grew up in an age where there is internet. And that's what development and that's what progress looks like. And personally, I believe that we are so early in that it looks like we are going through another stage. And the world, is constantly evolving into a stage where when you say you don't know what on-chain is, that was like, how? Do you live under the rock? So, like, it's a stage. So, that, like I said, I'm going to go through the question again, then, round up and let someone else do their thing. And I always say this has constantly led me to question, does the internet truly connect us as seamlessly as we think? Or is this just the first step towards connectivity? And the next step is through on-chain interactions. So yeah, like last time, this is why I'm very passionate about, bringing more people on chain. I love what I do because I believe that it's not, to just participate in the future of finance. I believe in talking to people who are encouraged to also be builders, do things that bring more people on chain, things that make people's life easier. You probably don't know you would need WhatsApp if it didn't exist. So, and there are so many solutions that like changing the narratives. I was talking to somebody, I said when NFTs came, people was like, oh, NFTs is all about arts. NFT is, selling the hype. NFT is selling the noise. But now we are moving past NFT. You see innovations like SBTs. Most people probably don't know what that is, but that's soulbound token. And these are the kind of NFTs that you cannot even transfer to someone else. So you cannot sell. So for example, I cannot sell my educational history. I cannot sell my work history. I can mint those as SBTs. If you're at this event, you can add it to whatever you want to do, but someone else cannot replace whatever they give you at this event and say, oh, I want to sell this NFT that they gave me. No, because if they make it an SBT, it's called soulbound. It becomes yours. So, that is the point of innovation. It is constantly evolving. It's a step. And personally, not just, like I said, not just, to participate in the future of finance, but to be a part of a larger movement towards global connectivity and transparency. And I think that's pretty much it for me. So thank you so much for having me again. Yeah.
Please don't stop.